Black Scully on check. Got some little workout gear on check. Welcome to another marvelous episode. On today's docket, we got quite a few things we're going to talk about today. Now into the news segment. I saw a few people got upset at Dan Lanning for jumping in the pool with the recruit. I don't know what was so big about that. Like, why did that bother y'all so much? Also, we're going to talk a little bit about Josh Pate. He put out his top 20. Couple people were upset with Clemson being at number one. We're gonna talk about that as well. Also, another thing that we have on today's topic in our governor's ruling segment, super happy about this, is we know that we don't have a commissioner of college football. We also know that we do need a commissioner of college football. But I propose a question to each and every one of you, and you all can answer this however you feel the need to. Are the TV networks the real commissioners of the sport? That's the question I propose to each and every person that's watching this right now. And lastly, what we have on today's docket, we're going to get into the must-see games of 2025. This is the governor of college football. This is unfiltered college football. That's the way we do it. Governor of college football, hashtag go CFB. CFB Nation, your only college football destination. Let's get it. Governor of college football, we're going to recap ACC.
Hey, that's
Two
CJ
great
on
defensive
that
minds.
track.
They have to be better on that side of it. Alrighty, so let's get into the news, man. So much to talk about, a lot to talk about. I love the fact that, yesterday Moon, I think he went live around 1. Today he went live around 2:30-ish, 2:45-ish. I'm going live. We live tonight for Overreaction Monday. Me and my dog, Nito. So super excited about that. So into the news. First headlines. Penn State tops a lot of people's post-spring ratings. And it's kind of interesting to see because I feel like a lot of people for a very long time were kind of mum on Penn State. Like, yes, year in and year out, they're always going to have a myriad of talent. Year in and year out, they're always going to have elite coordinators, whether it was Brent Pye before his tenure at Virginia Tech, and now they have it in Jim Knowles and Andy Kotelnicki. Looking at this team, looking at the overall roster construction, looking at the get that they were able to get in the portal like a Trevor Pena, it's really interesting to see where this Penn State team is now, and it's great to see that they're getting a notoriety. And I think it's because the belief, even if you don't fully believe in James Franklin, you do believe in Drew Aller, you do believe in Katron Allen, you do believe in Nick Singleton, and you do believe in their portal get and Trevor Pena. And you do believe in what Jim Knowles can do defensively. I think that's why this team, if you look at it, the overall roster construction, that's why a lot of people have them somewhere in that top 2 or 3. And a lot of the polls that I've seen had them right at number 1. So, another topic that we're going to talk about is SEC. They want to form like a conduct review group. And this is something that the NFL has always done. The NFL is quick to fine you. NBA not as quick to fine you, but they will also fine you for misconduct as well. But SEC Commissioner Greg Sankey is launching a new conduct working group focused on athletic behavior and accountability. This move comes in response to recent off-the-field incidences and signals a broader effort to lead with discipline in the NIL and transfer portal era. You got to look at a lot of these kids. A lot of these kids come from, what's been able to propel them to the heights that they're at is because of the need to get there. A lot of them come from broken homes. A lot of them just come from places that aren't great to be. So, they go hard at this sport. They excel at this sport. And then the first real money that they get in their lifetime, imagine being 17 or 18 years old with that responsibility. If you didn't grow up with like a strong background, strong belief system, and you don't have anybody in your life that can teach you how to properly handle that money and deal with, the fame, because fame is a drug, whether we want to admit it or not. So I like that Sankey is kind of leading a charge on this. And when we look at it and look at a lot of these incidences, the SEC, Georgia is one of those schools. Like, we've talked about it before, whether Georgia has a culture problem or not. But a lot of this is truly necessary. And I think every conference should have this. On a broader scale, yes, we do need reform. We all know that we need reform. But I think this conduct rule group, if we can start holding players accountable within our own conferences, and then maybe there's some type of commission or commissioner that's able to hold it at a broader scale, But if we can start holding people accountable at conference level, I think it'll be quite impressive if we can ever get to that point. So let's talk about Josh Pate rankings. There were quite a few people upset at his rankings. Never really made sense to me, if I'm being honest. I didn't understand why people get upset at his rankings. This is what I always had to say about people who did rankings and people who did ratings. If they are well thought out, if you can give me supporting evidence to why you put a team in a certain place and it makes sense, I'm okay with it. We're not all going to agree. There's 136 teams, for crying out loud, and 136 fan bases. Well, maybe not 136 fan bases all believe their team is number one, but you guys get what I'm trying to say. So I watched that live episode when he was live. I believe he released them on Sunday, and people were upset that Clemson was number one. Well, Clemson's top five in a lot of people's. They was number two in mine. The only team I had ahead of Clemson was Texas, because I just believe that much in Steve Sarkisian, even though they lost a lot of production. But Clemson is a damn good team. Georgia fans were upset. I think he had Georgia outside of the top 10. I wouldn't have looked too much into that. If I'm a Georgia fan or if I'm a Georgia player, I look at this and I say it's the Troy Aikman thing. You know how Troy Aikman has always tried to stay middle ground when it comes to the Dallas Cowboys. Kurt Herbstreit has always done the same thing with Ohio State. He's more critical of it than anything. I think with Josh Pate, Georgia, that's his team, whether we like it or not. I think he's just very critical of them, and he's allowed to be critical of them. I'm a Buffalo Bills fan. If y'all don't think I'm critical of the Buffalo Bills, you're out of your mind. If y'all don't think I'm tired of losing to the Chiefs, you're out of your mind. I'm very critical of the Buffalo Bills. I'm very critical of some of our roster movement, even though I love what Brandon Beane has done since his time here. I've been critical of the coaching staff and critical situations. When you have a team that's your team, I get it. USC, a lot of their fans were upset that they weren't in the top 20. I think it was very smart of Pete to do a top 20. Most of us did a top 25, but I think it was incredibly intelligent of him to go ahead and say, hey, I'm just do a top 20. So your team not being in a top 20 or top 25 ranking, if I'm a player, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm make him remember that. Oh, he gonna remember that. The chip that's gonna be on my shoulder, that's gonna motivate me. I'm gonna wake up early and I'm gonna put the work in. I'm going to also in the evening go and put the work in again, because I'm going to use that as kind of like a sense of fuel, and that's going to drive me to get ready for fall camp. Rankings are rankings at the end of the day. The games, there's a reason the games are played, and the games will be played. So I don't get why people are so upset at that or get so bothered by that. At the end of the day, there's just rankings. There's just ratings. That's all there is. Coming up next in our Into the News segment, Carson Beck cleared for summer workouts. That's something I was happy to hear. I think a lot of us, when we were doing our top 25, didn't really know where to put Miami. Kind of didn't know where we were with Miami. Yes, Cam Ward almost led his team to the ACC championship last year if it wasn't for the loss to Fran Brown and the Syracuse Orange. Carson Beck immediately after Georgia was eliminated from the playoffs announced that he'll be entering the portal and he'll be going to the 305 to MIAO. He announced it immediately. But he passed for over 3,900 yards in 2024, and I think he's ready to bounce back. I think we look at his stats from last year, and he wasn't the guy that a lot of us thought he was, because a lot of us thought he had QB1 potential. For some reason, it just didn't work out. It is what it is, but I think he's here. He's in an easier conference. I don't care what you say. The ACC is easier than the SEC. It is what it is, and he's in a quarterback-friendly offense. We've seen what Cam Ward was able to do in his offense last season, so I'm glad he was clear for summer workouts, and I hope he brings it in the summer, man. Focus. Please focus. That's all I ask the kid to do. Just focus. Coming up next on the docket, Dan Lanning, recruiting fires. It drew some heat. So you see the defensive end, edge, whatever you want to call him, Richard Wesley. In this commitment video, he was at a swimming pool to describe it. I probably should have run the video in here, so my apologies for that. That's completely my fault. If you guys haven't seen it, just search it. Just search Dan Lanning and search Richard Wesley, and it'll pop up. So he's at he's announcing his commitment, talking to the camera, one of those 90s type style things. Remember how they break the fourth wall? I know I'm old, so this is gonna go over some of y'all head. But like a Zachary Morris, he would break the fourth wall, and the fourth wall is the camera. So when you're acting, you're not supposed to look at the camera. And it's Zachary Morris from Saved by the Bell. If you don't know who that is, you should, even if you're young. He was talking to the camera. Say, Will Smith for Fresh Prince of Bel-Air would do the same thing. So it's Richard Wesley breaking the fourth wall. and he said coach, and he didn't say who the coach was. It was Dan Lanning. Dan Lanning ran out, jumped in the pool. People made a whole like fuss about it. Like, what was the big deal, bro? Like, we seen Eli Drinkwitz in a lot of recruiting videos last year. This is part of recruiting. Why shouldn't he be excited to bolster a team that he's been trying to build like the Georgia out west? What was the big issue with it? Like, this is what comes with recruiting. People want to play for a coach that they believe in. Dan Lanning, probably other than Shane Beamer. Shane Beamer is the only coach that is high on my list as far as a player coach, a coach that I want to play with. Or if I'm about to rumble, man, I want Shane Beamer and Dan Lanning with me because I know they're going to throw hands with me. That's why I want with me. So what was wrong with him doing this? Some of y'all dig a little bit too deeply. So that's a minor. He's jumping in the pool with him. Stop it, bro. Like, this kid can't be excited about going to play for the Ducks. Dan Lanning can't be excited about a 5-star recruit. Like, get out of here, man. Why are we doing this? And more Penn State news. I feel like Penn State, we talked about Penn State a lot. I think people will start getting tired of it soon. But anyway, there was a new NFL mock draft that came out, 2026 mock draft, and we saw 6 Penn State players go in the top 3 rounds, including Drew Aller going number 19 to the Pittsburgh Steelers, making headlines. And I know James Franklin in many ways get, not intentionally, but I know you all seen the Penn State spring game and a fan called him the fraud, and he was like, well, we could talk about it after the game. If you're from where I'm from, he was definitely, James Franklin was with the smoke. But when Penn State has been able to do year in, year out, put talent into the NFL, they got arguably the best running back room in the country. It's kind of cool to see, where Penn State is and that they're getting all of this love, but they have to live up to it. That is the key. They have to live up to it. They absolutely have to. They do play some really good games this upcoming year, and I'm pretty sure we'll see Penn State in some must-see games coming up. So that's our Into the News segment. We're going to move right along into this governor's ruling segment. I'm really excited about this governor's ruling segment, and I think you all are going to like it as well. So, are the real commissioners of college football the TV networks? Stay with me here because it may get a little deep. I promise you, stay with me. Yeah, please. So let's stop pretending. In 2025, Fox, ESPN, CBS, NBC, ABC, the CW, and everybody else who streams college football games, they aren't just broadcasters. They're the real power brokers of college football. It has always been interesting to me that college football generates so much revenue for these TV networks. The universities, the cities that these universities are in. Some of these cities, if you went to these cities and that university wasn't there, the city would be nothing, literally nothing without the university. I promise you that. But here's my issue with it. We don't invest time, energy, and money until talking about the sport year round. ESPN has the rights to the college football playoff. They have daily NBA shows, daily NFL shows, and daily sports talk shows that discuss pretty much NBA and NFL daily, mainly LeBron James, the Dallas Cowboys, the Eagles, the Chiefs, and that's about it. That's pretty much all. And then, now that Caitlin Clark is in the WNBA, that's really all they talk about day in, day out. If y'all wonder what show I'm talking about, it's kind of First Take. I'm just being real. But for a sport that generates so much money for your network, you don't even have a daily college football show. And I know some of y'all like, hold on now. Paul Feinbaum does have a daily sports talk show, 4 hours on the SEC network. Well, if you feel that strongly on them, put them on the main stage. Put them on your main channel. Put them on ESPN. Yes, it's great that the SEC network does put on the Paul Feinbaum show. But I think also Paul Feinbaum show setup is geared towards people not only who are college football fans, but people who enjoy a little bit of like gossip and, cause like we all watch the Paul Feinbaum show. It's so entertaining. Every time I watch it, I laugh, bruh. Especially my dog Jim for Tuscaloosa, man. When he called, he mean business, man. So it's like that gossip show, like it's like the Jerry Springer or the Oprah of college football. And I'm not taking anything away from Paul Feinbaum because he does a great job. He's very knowledgeable, and the top people are always willing to be on his show. So I'm not taking anything away from him. I'm just giving you guys the aesthetics of it all. The reason his show is successful is, one, because he's a genius. Two, the show with all of the call-ins, people are going to want to call and hear their voice, and they be going at each other in the midst of these calls, and he always has great guests. I give him credit there, but I'm just saying, if this sport generates so much money for you, why aren't we investing more in the sport? That's the only question I got to ask, because, CFB Nation, when we got into this, our motto has always been, there's no off season. That's always been our motto, and we've continued to live through that. Y'all see, I'm giving y'all 4 shows a week. Moon is about to give y'all 4 shows a week. We do overreaction every week, and then as the season hit up, college football showdown, we give y'all a bunch of shows. We're actually about to launch a new subsidiary of CFB Nation. I'm keeping that under wraps for now, but we love this. We talk it every day, and there's a lot of other people who talk it every day too, and kudos to them. And it just gives you something to look forward to. Like, NFL Live is always on ESPN. I forgot the name of the NBA show, but it's always on ESPN. Invest in college football. ESPN gets 1 NFL game a week, right? Think about it. Like, sit there, think about it. Like, damn, Governor, you right. ESPN only get 1 NFL game a week, and it's Monday Night Football. And let's be honest, Monday Night Football ain't what it used to be. They got the Mannings on one channel, and then Troy, Joe Buck, and the other guy on another channel. When the last time y'all watched a Monday Night Football game? Be real. When's the last time you watched it? And your team wasn't playing. I watch it when the Bills is on, but if y'all, man, listen, I watch it when the Bills is on. Other than that, I'm not watching on Monday Night Football. Why would I do that? I'd rather talk college football, what happened this past weekend, watch some film that I may have missed from this past weekend as well. I'm not watching on Monday Night Football if the Buffalo Bills ain't playing. Is y'all crazy? And then especially when like Back Action and Conference USA be having those midweek games, I'm watching that. I'm not watching no damn Monday Night Football. Is you crazy? But this is the kicker though. But ESPN at the same time showcases 4 or 5 premium college football games every week at premium time slots at 12, 3:30, 7, or 8. Premium games. You get 4 college football. NFL give you 1. You get 4 college football. Same thing with the NBA. You don't get much of those. Same thing. You get a day or 2 of that. You get a day or 2 of hockey. College football give you 4 or 5 games every week, bro. 4 or 5. Not to mention some of those Thursday night games. Then we might be up to 6, ESPN. Let's be real. Fun fact. ESPN broadcasts more college football games than any other sport, but we can't get a daily college football show other than the Paul Feinbaum show on ESPN, SEC Network. It's really SEC Network. ESPN just backs it. That's real interesting to me. We got a lot of really great people in this space that's independent. We got a lot of great people, like Greg McElroy. Always college football should be on ESPN. Why is it on ESPN YouTube? Matt Berry show is fantastic. Why isn't that on ESPN? But it's on ESPN YouTube. Like, let's be serious. These guys can carry their own show. Matt Berry kinda is the navigator of our Saturdays every week on ESPN. I love what Matt Berry does, and I love what he does on his own show too. And I love Greg McElroy is so knowledgeable, bro. Like, I love a lot of Greg McElroy's takes. But y'all gonna put him on the internet? He can't be on the main stage. He can hold his own. Put him on the main stage. What are we doing? Seriously. So while Charlie Baker shakes hand in D.C. and conference commissioners hold media day panels and the actual game shifting decisions from kickoff times to playoff formats to even who survives realignment are all made in corporate boardrooms with broadcast contracts on the table. Everybody, let's go do some homework. Let's go do an exercise. Go to fbsschedules.com. That's my favorite place to go look at schedules. And if you notice, you go there and a lot of time slots say TBD. We don't know what time it is. They'll announce it when it comes, but we don't know what time it is. So that's why I say, like, a lot of these TV networks, especially ESPN, they got the college football playoff, bro. And we about to go to 16 teams. That means opening week of the college football playoff, when we expand to 16 teams in the playoff, that means ESPN is going to get 8 primetime college football games. That week, ESPN going to get all of them. But we can't invest in daily college football show. Sounds crazy to me. Exhibit A, the Big Ten's TV deal. In 2022, Big Ten signed a 7-year, $7 billion media deal with Fox, CBS, and NBC. That deal didn't just bring money in. Because remember, we talked about George Kliavkoff on the show before. Former Pac-12 commissioner before, Teresa Gold, and bless her heart, because she's really done a great job since she's been there, before she took over. But guess what? That Big Ten $7 billion, my apologies, 7-year, $7 billion deal did. It also brought USC, UCLA, and Oregon and Washington. Money talks, BS walks. These TV companies are truly the commissioners of college football. And we spend so much time talking about, well, we need to fix this. And we do. We do need to fix the transfer portal. We do need to fix the NIL. Well, damn, we need to invest more money into the sport that's feeding a lot of people's families. That's what we really need to do, if we're being real. Why? Because coast-to-coast games meant more time zones, more primetime inventory, and more advertising dollars. That's why it really mattered. You know, all of these conferences, that's what they're doing. It's almost like, you know, Christopher Columbus sailed the ocean blue and go find something that was already found. Or when people were heading out west, you know, trying to find gold. You know, it's all about territory. This here sport is all about territory. It's why the Big 12 wanted to get in certain territories. I love the ACC. I love the Big 12 too. It's why Jim Phillips and company want to get Stanford and get Cal, because now they out west, and now they can set up shop out west. Man, this thing is all about territory and TV distribution. That's why it was so important. It was literally genocide on some of these conferences. Ain't nobody cared. I'm sorry, we cared about what happened to the Pac-12, and we wanted the Pac-12 to remain the same. But these conferences ain't give a damn about the Pac-12. That's why I was Slim Pickens, man. After Big Ten finished with them, Big 12 finished them off. Arizona, yeah, you come here. Arizona State, you come here. Utah, yeah, you come here. Colorado, yeah, you come here. Oh, AAC, I see y'all doing y'all little thing over there, Playboy. Cincy, we need you. Houston, you can come over here too. That's exactly what happened. We may not want to accept it, but that's what happened. The Big Ten didn't expand because of tradition. It expanded because of distribution windows. It's fact. It's fact. ESPN and the SEC monopoly. Let's go back to 2023. Y'all remember when Florida State ran through the ACC, won a lot of close games. Their quarterback Jordan Travis gets hurt, and in retrospect, in hindsight, we could probably say maybe they were deserving not to be in a college football playoff. Their quarterback was hurt. You know, they got mollywopped by Georgia the next week, but SEC team did get the last slot. Who runs a college football playoff again? ESPN. What conference is ESPN the closest with? The SEC. Come on, man. ESPN controls the entire SEC media rights portfolio, owning both the SEC network and key primetime windows on ABC. The close relationship came into full view in 2023 when Florida State, undefeated, Power 5 conference champion, was left out of the college football playoff. Who got in? I was just telling y'all about it. Alabama's the one that got in. Now look, hindsight 2020, we know what happened the week after that. Georgia mollywopped them. I think it was the Peach Bowl that they mollywopped them in. It was bad. It was ugly. So I get it. But I think we need to start paying closer attention to this. We really do. The lines between partner and puppet master are blurred, and college football fans saw right through it. We all saw through it. We really did. The 16-team playoff window expansion, like I said, I'm more optimistic. I said this yesterday. I'm more optimistic about college football playoff expansion as it pertains to going from 12 to 16 teams than I was going to 4 to 12 teams because of the regular season. I love the regular season. Like, that pursuit of perfection there is important. It's very important. Super important. My phone continues to go off. Alrighty, kickoff times. The kickoff times is all, I said it earlier. These networks control these kickoff times. It's all about money. It's all about revenue. I'm telling you. College football real commissioners are named Greg Sankey or Tony Petitti, even though those are my guys. They're named Disney, Fox Corp, Comcast. It is what it is, man. This is Governor ruling. We're going to take a commercial break. We'll be right back. Look at you out here using all these other sports books and you ain't even using the best one. BetUS. Get 125% match bonus when you use the promo code CFB Nation. Yeah, you heard me correctly. 125% match bonus on your first deposit using that code CFB Nation. We know that college football is in the off season, even though we don't celebrate that. CFB Nation, we do college football 24/7, but there are plenty of things for you guys to bet on.
Who will have the most wins? OKC Thunder or Cleveland Cavaliers? Can Luka and LeBron make it all mesh to make it to the play-in tournament? Maybe you're a college basketball guy ready to risk it all for Florida to make it to the big dance.
Basketball isn't for you? Maybe you're a football guy. Well, BetUS got you covered with this year's UEFA Championship. Can Liverpool or Barcelona win it all? Will Erling Haaland or Harry Kane lead their teams to victory?
May is going to get popping when the Kentucky Derby hits town. BetUS has you covered in that way too, with all major horse racing events. Point is, type in that promo code CFB Nation and go get that money.
Shout out to BetUS. You can get 125% match bonus on your first deposit using that code CFB Nation. So let's get into the 2025 college football must-see games. Now, there's going to be games on here. Everybody know, okay, yeah, these games going to be here. A lot of this list is going to be easy to predict. I think we'll see a few teams a few times, and that'll probably aggravate a few people. But I thought it was important for me to mention a couple of honorable mention games. And some of them probably aren't as popular as you think, but, let's get into some of these honorable mention games before we get into the actual list. USC at Oregon. I don't know. I really like that game. Old Pac-12 game, Who knows where Oregon will be at that point? Who knows where USC will be at that point? But they're two coaches I believe in a lot, and Lincoln Riley and Dan Lanning. But it'll be interesting. November 22nd is later in the season. Be real cool to see. Florida at Miami was my honorable mention, and I really wanted to put this on the list. They play September 20th. There's a lot of really good games. September 20th, another honorable mention for me, and probably should have been in my top 10, is when Auburn travels to Norman to take on Oklahoma. But we get to see Jackson Arnold go face his old team in Norman against John Mateer, Bernard Buckle, and Brent Venables. That'll be really interesting. So that's another honorable mention game. But Florida at Miami, I thought about putting it on the list. After last season debacle in Gainesville, I thought it wouldn't be fitting if I did put it on the list. But, it ain't on the list. Notre Dame at Miami. This is the Catholics versus the Convicts. We all remember that. August 31st, I believe. That's a Sunday? Is that a Sunday night game? I think that's a Sunday night game. Prime time. This definitely could have been up there. And Notre Dame plays a pretty decent schedule this year. So it'll be, I think, one of those really good games where we kind of see, well, where's Miami at with Carson Beck? And the fact that they play Florida and Notre Dame within a 3-week span, we get to see where's this Notre Dame team at. And I'm sure they'll be ready. And we'll also get to see, hey, where's this Miami team at as well. TCU at North Carolina, September 1st. That game intrigues me because I believe that is a Monday night game. It's in Carolina. Bill Belichick's debut in Chapel Hill. It's interesting to see what's going on with him. I hate, his time in North Carolina. And I guess it's kind of that welcome to college football. Like the media circus in college football is crazy. But the conversation continues to be about his lady. And I get it. A lot of people may be uncomfortable with it. That's neither here nor there. And quite frankly, it's none of our business. And then, I did see the photo, with him sitting or the video with him sitting next to her dad. And then I think the girlfriend's name is Jordan. She was on stage at a beauty pageant. But I think this game is going to be really interesting because I don't know what Sonny Dykes and TCU are this year. North Carolina's going to be the same thing. Like, we get the Gio Lopez experience starting Chapel Hill. I'll be interested to see that, to be honest with you. And I think Michigan versus USC is another one of those sleeper games. October 11th. This is a really good game last year. Two big brands. So that's another game I would have been very excited to see. So let's get into our top 10. Number 1 is an easy one. I probably like the number 2 game better, but number 1 is an easy one. We got Ohio State versus Texas. The rematch everybody wanted. Arch Manning versus Ohio State. College football playoff type atmosphere. Week 1 on the college football season, Ohio State will begin its quest to defend its national championship. I believe this is the last game we'll see. Last day we'll see Lee Corso on College Game Day as a full-time, analyst on that. I'm sure they'll bring him back here and now. But it would only be fitting if it's ends where it started because his first, I think, piece of hair gear happened in Columbus. His last one happened in Austin, Texas, and it'll be dope if he picks the Buckeye again. So this game's gonna get a lot of media attention. The Manning media cartel, Arch Manning really get started, and we gonna see where he at. We're gonna see what Steve Sarkisian has his program at. There's a few questions about Ohio State as it pertains to who's the starting quarterback gonna be. Julian Sayin was the guy I expected to be, but Lincoln Conholz ain't going anywhere. So that's gonna be really good as well to see. But Texas gonna want revenge. They're gonna want revenge for that playoff game. That was a hell of a playoff game that both of these teams played. So I'm interested to see. I think it was the Cotton Bowl. I'm interested to see how this game fares out. So yes, Ohio State at Texas, number 1. Number 2 is the Battle of Death Valley, and I wanted to put this game number 1. I didn't, but I really wanted to put this game at number 1 for a couple of reasons. One, we will be at this game. CFB Nation 100% will be at this game. It's in Clemson. I'm hoping it's at nighttime. And it's the Battle of Death Valley, and whoever wins this game has the right to say, hey, yeah, we the true Death Valley, in my opinion. So 2 blue bloods, 2 elite defensive lines. An early statement game with playoff weight. The Battle of Death Valley, 2 explosive offenses, 2 Heisman contenders at quarterback, and Cade Klubnik and Garrett Nussmeier. Yo, we're going to see fireworks. We're going to see a lot of fireworks this game because both of these quarterbacks, both of these offenses, both of these offensive coordinators are going to want to come out and prove a point. I think Clemson is nice on defense as well. You're not going to be able to hear yourself talk. You're not going to be able to hear your thoughts. You're not going to be able to hear yourself talk. That stadium is going to be electric because everybody knows, with that Death Valley and Baton Rouge, the notoriety it gets as the toughest place to play. I think Clemson's Death Valley is definitely going to want to make a name for themselves as well. So like I said earlier, we will be in attendance for this game. I probably am more excited about this game than any other game this year. I truly believe that I'm more excited about this game than any other game this year. And number 3, I got the game. Number 3 for me is certainly the game. I think that when you look at things and when you look at things and you see where we at, yes, Ryan Day got a huge monkey off his back when he was able to win the national championship last year. But there's still a lot of Ohio State fans that are upset that Michigan beat them 4 times in a row. Awful lot of fans. They're really upset about it. And a lot of people was calling for his job after that last loss. Like, yo, you couldn't beat a team and you knew what they were going to do. They were going to run left, run right, run middle, and you couldn't stop that. Like, you serious? Like, you really couldn't stop that? And we supposed to be going to the college football playoff. At that time, I think if you could get the current temperature and the pulse of Columbus at that point, there was a lot of anger, there was a lot of worry, and they wanted to get Ryan Day the hell up out of there. Well, luckily for him, he was able to win the national championship. But I think for this game, it's just one of those things, man. Like, people are going to be really, really excited for this game. I'm telling you. They're going to be really excited for this game. I promise you. It's going to be one of these games, man. Can Ryan Day get this monkey off his back? Can you guys imagine what the internet will be like? Like, stay with me here. Can you guys imagine what the internet will be like if Michigan finds a way to win a 5th game in a row? And yes, Ryan Day is coming off of a national championship. Yes, the fans of Columbus is happy about that. But can you imagine what would happen if in Ann Arbor, what date is this? Is this November 30th? If in Ann Arbor, November 29th, Michigan wins for the 5th straight time, what Twitter would be like, what the internet would be like, all I got to say is get your popcorn ready because I can't wait to see it. I promise you I can't wait to see it. So this game to me, yes, Michigan isn't quite where they were. They're not from a talent perspective, not at least where they were when they won the national championship a couple years ago. But this game means so much to so many people in the cities of Ann Arbor and Columbus. It means so much. But like I said, that 5th straight loss, that will be troubling. That will be very troubling. I promise you it will be troubling. Game number 4 on my must-see games of 2025. We got Penn State at Ohio State. I think College Game Day, what College Game Day does, and I think College Game Day does at a very high level. Yes, they're live in those stadium atmospheres. You get to see the fans. You get to see the signs. You get to see Lee Corso, with the headgear. But I think what that show does really well and what's so underrated about College Game Day and is its ability to tell a story. I said this on yesterday's show. A lot of times as men, we don't get emotional. We don't get emotional at all. And the only way that we feel like we're comfortable with our emotions is when, it's sports. Like, I remember when College Game Day did the story on Jalen Hurts. When he went down to Oklahoma, when there were people that said he will never be an NFL quarterback. Now he's a Super Bowl winning NFL quarterback. And just to see that story, you like, if you ain't see that story, you weren't rooting for him. How much adversity he faced, how he showed leadership, even after getting pulled after a game, he was super happy for Tua. So I think the thing that College Game Day do better than anything, and it's super underrated, is its ability to tell a story. Well, I think they have one hell of a story they get to tell with this Penn State at Ohio State game. Penn State at the Horseshoe. Penn State had an opportunity to beat Ohio State last year. They were up, 10 was it? They were up 10 points. Ended up losing the game. And it was one of those games where you felt like, James Franklin about to make a statement. He about to put the entire college football world on notice after this game. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. And Ohio State has dominated Penn State in James Franklin tenure. We know the record, 12-1. Ohio State has dominated him. And the story that I was talking about is Jim Knowles. I was reading on ESPN the other day about Jim Knowles and him, deciding that he's going to leave Columbus. Kind of didn't like how things were handled. He had done his job. Holding teams to 13 points a game. Ohio State defense played lights out last year, and Jim Knowles had a lot to do with that. And had a lot to do with their success over the last few seasons. And the fact that they were kind of stalling on offering the contract, I think that's why he was so happy. Like, James Franklin and company offered $3.1 million. He took the money, and he get to face this team again. So if you think that Jim Knowles is not going to come back to Columbus and he's not going to be ready, and he's going to be given some context clues to Andy Cotto-Nicky on how to attack this team, and he's going to be ready for that Ohio State offense, whether it's Julian Sand or Lincoln Conholz at quarterback, he's going to 1,000% be ready. He's going to be ready. I promise you, he's going to be ready. So I think that story. I think we'll see College Game Day tell that story, and the game is November 1st, and I think we'll see them sit down. They'll talk with Jim Knowles, and Jim Knowles will talk about his time in Columbus, even though it was short. He was at Oklahoma State before that, but that's why I love College Game Day. I can't wait to see this story, and if Jim Knowles and them are able to go to Columbus and pull out a win, look out, because that Penn State hype train is going to start. And it is going to last well beyond the spring, as we see now. So another game I got on my radar, another game that I kind of probably want to have even higher on my radar, is this Clemson South Carolina game in the Palmetto Bowl. Last year was must-see TV. It was fireworks. Think about how much was riding for both of these teams at that point. Of course, we always say this. Hindsight is legitimately 20/20. We do know that. But last year, Clemson's chances of making the ACC championship, which was going to be their only route to go into the college football playoff, was on this game, which is the last game of the season. I think it's November 28th last year. It's November 29th this year. So much was riding on this game, and then we just saw Lenore Sellers take over and in this game to seal the deal. And the moment we thought Clemson chances of making the college football playoff were done. We thought they were nil. Sayonara. See you next year. Good luck next year. Enjoy your bowl game. We thought they were done. Thank goodness Fran Brown and Syracuse had something else planned as they, defeated Miami, and he told Dabo and the Clemson faithful, "You're welcome." I love Fran Brown, man. He's a dude. This game will certainly be for college football playoff seeding. I truly believe that, because I think South Carolina can be the real deal this year. It depends what they're able to get out of Nick Harbor. Defensively, they're going to play. Shane Beamer's going to keep them disciplined, from the special team sense. And, South Carolina's just going to show up and they're going to be ready to play. But this game could also hurt someone, depending on how the season go and how the dominoes fall. This game could also hurt someone's chances of making a playoff like it almost did last year. So you got Cade Klubnik, you got Lenore Sellers, you got Garrett Riley, you got a stout South Carolina defense. I'm interested to see what they learn from this game. And this game is in Columbia, South Carolina too. So let's not forget that. This is game number 5. This game has huge billing. I wouldn't be surprised if, I don't know, because the game is that weekend too. It wouldn't surprise me if game they decide to say, hey, yeah, we do got the game in Columbus this year, but we've been to Columbus quite a few times. Let's go to Columbia, South Carolina, and see this game, because it's probably be higher scoring and probably be more fireworks. You know what you're going to get out of Ohio State and Michigan game. It's going to be low scoring, physical defense, and a lot of punts. Go to Columbia. You see some fireworks with probably 2 Heisman hopefuls, if we're being honest, right? Game number 6 on my list, Texas A&M at Notre Dame. This is one of those, surprisingly, I think, sneaky good games last year because it was a measuring stick game for both of these programs. It was definitely a measuring stick game for both programs last year because we didn't know where Marcus Freeman and company were last year. We didn't know how Mike Eckel would fare year one down in College Station. But, you know, Texas A&M will be looking ahead to South Bend and get some revenge. They will 100% be looking ahead to South Bend and get some revenge. 100%. So I think this is one of those Irish elite wins. I think this is the win, even though it was early in the season last year. You look at them and say, hey, they can play. They got Love at running back. They got Jadarian Price at running back. This kid Riley Leonard may be something. And they ended up being in the national championship this past season. So Aggies will definitely be looking for revenge. I'm interested to see what Colin Klein is as a coordinator, what his growth looks like with Marcel Reed. And because this game is so early in the season, we get to see what that KC Concepcion experience is like down in College Station as well. So this is definitely one of those games, those must-see games. And it may be ugly, but there's nothing wrong with an ugly football game. But like I said, I think this is definitely one of those must-see games this year. Coming at number 7, Oregon versus Penn State is my number 7th game. And I like this game a lot, honestly. If I'm speaking transparently, September 27th, we seen these two programs put on a show in the Big Ten Championship last year. And I was like, yo, where did these fireworks come from? Like, there was a couple of games I saw Penn State last year, and I started to think to myself, yo, can this team really score points? Is it James Franklin or is Andy Cottle-Nicky just not being unleashed yet as an offensive coordinator? And the first game was USC when they were down big early, and they was able to come back and put up a lot of points later. The second game was this Big Ten Championship. It was a back and forth affair. It was a lot of points scored for teams that seemed to be sound defensively, and it just seemed to be like, yo, what's going on here? So I felt stronger about Penn State after that game than I had felt before, because I looked at them, and then of course the college football playoff bracket came out not too much longer after that. I looked at where they were, and I was like, yo, if they're able to score points, they're going to be able to play defense. This team, with that route that they have, can certainly win a national championship. And that's why I picked them once the bracket came out. I picked Penn State to win a national championship. I'm interested to see what this game looks like this year. You know, Dylan Gabriel is gone. Dante Moore in that quarterback. Where's Dan Lanning in his experience? He's won a lot of ball games. He doesn't lose a lot. But these are some of the games that I'm looking at, especially this early in the season, to really see that measuring stick. Like, yo, where's this Penn State team at? Is this a team that can legitimately win it all? Yes, everybody in the post-spring, Penn State won the spring for sure. But, you know, the game is played in the fall, though. They won the spring. A lot of people are looking at the construction of the roster. A lot of people are looking at the coordinators. They're looking at the players that they have offensively. They look what they've been able to do in the portal, and they say, hey, this team can be really damn good. But they have to get the results on the field. That's where it has to happen. We need to see James Franklin coach his you-know-what off this season. Like, yo, put it on the table, James Franklin. That's what needs to happen, bro. That's what needs to happen. Don't go in these games playing scared. None of that, bro. Like, go in this season with some moxie, with some bravado. What you told, bro? Yeah, we can talk about it after the game. That's what we need to see all season, James Franklin. That's exactly what we need to see, bro. No more of this modest crap. None of that. Yeah, we ain't here to be humble. We here to win it all. That's what need to be the message for Penn State this entire season. We're here to win it all. We not here to be humble. We almost had them. We tired of that, bro. We are tired of that, James Franklin. It is time for you all to go win it all. This can be one of those proving games against a damn good coach team and Dan Lang and these Oregon Ducks. So that's number 7 on my list. I like this game a lot. Number 8, I kind of had Michigan and Oklahoma for sentimental reasons. I'm going to bump this game out. Bump this game. And the reason I'm bumping this game out for 2 reasons. Because I believe Auburn and Oklahoma is going to have more fireworks. And then I also believe that this Michigan-Oklahoma game, listen, Sharon Moore, it's cool what you doing. You come into the mercy of the court and say, hey, man, I'm guilty. I deleted the Connor Stallions messages. And you guys, you know what you should do? You should suspend me. It's like when a kid get in trouble and they try to punish themselves before the parent punish them, and they just like kind of choose things that they pretend they care about, but they don't really care about. Well, I mean, I guess I shouldn't be allowed to go outside. I mean, I guess I should have to be in bed early. They just don't want to give up the video game. We know what it is. They don't want to give up the video game. So the fact that Sharon Moore said, well, I ain't going to do my first 2 games at the end of the season because I ain't missing the game for nothing. I don't want to do the first 2 games this season because I want to go back to my alma mater. I want to go back to Norman at a place I played in Oklahoma, and I want to coach that game. So he chose what was it? Central Michigan week 3, Nebraska week 4 on the road. He chose those 2 games as the games that he's gonna set out. So bump that game. We're gonna take that game off the list. We're gonna put that September 20th affair on this list. We are going to put Auburn and the Tigers traveling to Norman to play the Oklahoma Sooners. That's the game we're gonna replace this game with. That game's gonna be fireworks. I think you're gonna see a motivated Jackson Arnold. He's gonna be really motivated. He's gonna come in there and win by any means necessary, and he wants to show Brent Venables and every fan in Norman that you all made a mistake. I know you got a good guy in John Mateer, but I was really that guy too, though. Coming out of high school, I was that guy. Y'all must have forgot. It wasn't my fault. Well, of course, he probably gonna blame like Seth Luttrell or like Brent Venables, but he's gonna say it's not his fault. But I think with this offense that he has, in all seriousness, in Auburn, Alabama, with this wide receiver core, who's arguably the best wide receiver core in the country, we're gonna see fireworks. But also, guess what? John Mateer and Ben Arbuckle ain't coming to play. They're gonna restore the roar offensively in Norman, and it's gonna be a fireworks game. And I don't care where I'm at. I don't care where I'm at September 20th. I don't care what game I'm at, what field I'm on. They better have some damn good Wi-Fi, and I better be able to pull up my YouTube TV and watch this game. I don't care what game I'm at. Don't take it personal. I just want to watch. I just want to see this game. I want to see the fireworks. So sorry, Michigan and Oklahoma, you're off my list. You're an honorable mention. You ain't all the way off. You're an honorable mention. I'm gonna put Auburn and Oklahoma on this list. Texas versus Texas A&M, November 28th. I was so glad that this series was able to be restored. With the conference realignment and teams going to different conferences and teams who are remaining at the old conference being, kind of frustrated in a way. And they have a right to be frustrated because a lot of these rivalries can't exist. Like, the fact that we won't get a Bedlam series game this year is heartbreaking. It's so heartbreaking. Like, we won't get that. We won't get to experience that. And for years, we didn't get, like, the backyard brawl. But, seeing Texas versus Texas A&M always make me happy. I think this game would be fireworks. This game may have, depending on, your estimation of Texas A&M, this game may have college football playoff implications, or at least SEC implications, which pretty much all games probably will. And then coming in at number 10, I got Georgia at Alabama, September 27th. These two played early last season too. If y'all remember, they both had tough week 3 games. They had a bye week 4, and then they played each other week 5. And we got fireworks in that game. We got a bunch of fireworks this game. We'll get fireworks in this one as well. This has been a fun episode, man. I love talking college football. Make sure you guys lock in. I'm live every day, Monday through Thursday at 4 p.m. I may even start going live on Friday, man, because what the heck. And make sure you guys check out World of CFB. Moon's been killing it with the live streams. We are live tonight on the CFB Nation with Overreaction Monday on a Tuesday, of course. Me and Nino are going to get into a lot of important topics, so you all make sure you all stay tuned. As I always like to say, there are no more victories in the sport that survive in advance. That's why college football has the greatest regular season. And until next time, you all take care. Governor of college football, we're going to recap ACC.
Hey, that's CJ
defensive
on
minds.
the track.
They have to be better on that side of the ball.